pawb. Welcome everybody to this session to outline the opportunities under the Community Renewal Fund and the Levelling Up Fund in Ceredigion. Bydd y sesiwn yn ystyried y Chronfa Adfywio Cymunedol a Chronfa Codi'r Gwastad yng Ngheredigion. A hefyd atgoffa ni o'r Strategaeth Economaidd. We'll also be reminded of the Ceredigion Economic Strategy and we'll have a session on eTender Wales with gyda towards the end. Just ychydig o bwyntiau I wneud, just a few housekeeping points to make. We will be recording the session, I ni yn recordio'r sesiwn, so we can share it with anybody that's not been able to join us this afternoon. There's no simultaneous translation available, does dim cyfieithu ar y pryd ar gael, but we will be covering the session bilingually. Mi fyddwn ni yn defnyddio'r Gymraeg a'r Saesneg, os bych chi am cynnig cwestiwn yn y Gymraeg, mae'n groeso I chi wneud. Now, as I was explaining earlier, fel nes I esbonio'n gynt, dim ond y panelwyr I chi'n gallu gweld ar hyn o bryd. You can only see the panelists on your screen. So if you do want to comment or contribute, can you please use the chat column? A allwch chi defnyddio'r column chat os bych chi eisiau wneud unrhyw fath o sylw neu holi unrhyw fath o cwestiwn. Fi'n credu bod yn edrych fel bod Keith yn cael problem. Gobeithio bod pawb arall yn gallu'n clywed ni. I'm hoping that everybody else can hear us. Teleri, Cerys, I'm not sure whether we're able to send Keith a direct message just to ask him about sound. But if everybody else is fine, then it's obviously a bit of an issue on Keith's side. So if we can send Keith a direct message, then hopefully he can sort that out. Ond diolch am eich amser. Thank you for your time this afternoon. And hopefully we'll all be well informed after this next hour. Felly na I droi'n syth. I'll turn straight to Meleri and Eirlis from Ceredigion Economic Council, who will tell us a little bit more about both funds, the process, and the Ceredigion Economic Strategy as well. Felly, pwy un o'ch chi sy'n mynd I gychwyn? Which one of you is going to kick us off?
And you just mynd I sôn, ni'n mynd I wneud fel double act. We're going to do it as a double act. Meleri, because of she's been involved in developing the economic strategy for Ceredigion, will give an overview, and maybe that's where we'll start. And then if there are any questions in terms of the UK funds, we'll try our best to answer the questions. But obviously, we're limited in what we can provide because we are just the gatekeepers for this process, as you know. And but anyway, we'll help as much as we can.
Great, diolch yn fawr iawn.
I'll hand over to Mary, who will take you through the economic strategy.
Diolch yn fawr iawn. Diolch ti, Meleri.
Diolch. Okay. Right, so I'll start with the strategy then, because obviously we need one of the key things we need to ensure is that anything that's developed is in line with the current, and actually the very new economic strategy, which has formally been endorsed back in March after some delay. So the Boosting Ceredigion's Economy, a strategy for action. So it's for a 15-year period, and really it's a strategy that has been developed to consider the economic future of Ceredigion. So in terms of the process, the strategy, the development of it started back in 2019, really. It's been based on qualitative and quantitative data. So there was a two-stage detailed engagement and consultation process. The first part very much focusing on engagement with young people, businesses, but also with the general public. And that then informed the content of the document. And the second stage of the formal consultation was then the document after it had been produced. So in terms of the quantitative data, that's really provided the basis for the facts and figures for anybody that's had a look at the document. This was done first done pre-COVID, then when COVID hit, and we sort of picked up on the process of the strategy. It was reviewed again then in light of the impact of, well, as you can imagine, the challenges that have come from COVID, but also maybe the opportunities as well, if we're thinking, you know, on more of a positive note. So the strategy really identifies 4 priority areas, and where we want to take action really to make a difference. So the strategy fully sort of aims to align with the national policies, promoting sustainable inclusive growth, which are both really priorities for UK and the Welsh Government. So in terms of the 4 priorities or 4 areas, we're looking at people. So this one is about really inspiring people, developing people's skills, and supporting people's health and well-being. The second one is place. So promoting Ceredigion as an attractive place to live, work, and to visit. Enterprise, so assisting businesses to start up and grow. And finally, connectivity, so connecting Ceredigion, so connecting its businesses and communities. So the strategy sort of represents a framework for action. Its detailed implementation plans will be developed for some of these actions. Others are already happening and being delivered as part of Ceredigion County Council's work, but also other stakeholders who have been involved as well. This is a collaborative effort and will be going forward, and it will include really a role for the public, private and the third sector as well. So I'm going to so I'm going to go and show you and share my screen now and show you and go through the document and the 4 priorities. Yes. Can everybody see that?
Dwi ddim wedi trwyddo eto, Meleri.
So the document and the 4... Okay, na i aros yn funud. Yeah, okay. So the document sets out the 4 priority areas. Each section really set out as our ambitions for where we see ourselves in future. Sort of where are we now? What maybe the perceptions are, or some of this, you know, the information we've collated. What we need to do, and then who those partners need to be involved in the process going forward. So the first one, and then the second part of the section then is really what's been identified in these tables as being proposed early interventions. So again, as I say, it's setting out what we want to achieve, what we aim to do, how we measure that progress, who needs to be involved, and then finally some sort of timescale. So as I say, some of this work has already started, some of it is further into the future, but it is that framework to start us off, really. So if we consider the first one then, people. So the perception that we got from the engagement, particularly from young people, was that there were few professional opportunities in Ceredigion. We're all aware of the issue of young people moving away because they think there are no options for them. Some will always move to realise their study and career ambitions, but really we need to show, and what we aim to do through this strategy is to show that there are opportunities for those who do want to stay and those who wish to return, that there are those opportunities for them. So we want to capitalise on the experience, the skills and the knowledge of the people who are left and return. You know, we have a very good educational system in Ceredigion. So, you know, we want to make sure that we try and retain some of those young people within the county. We also want to capture the experience of the older population because they have an awful lot to contribute as well in terms of driving economic growth through the experience that they've gained. So in terms of what we want to achieve, some of the areas that we've been looking at here is the need to sort of build stronger links between future employees and employers. So it's making people aware of building that relationship and being aware of what employers are looking for in Ceredigion. So that can then lead to a skilled and an employer-led skilled and innovative workforce. So looking at maybe increasing the uptake of apprenticeship programs and looking at how we can sort of provide more of those opportunities and creating those relationships. We want to also sort of make people aware of the fact that actually starting a business is a really potential career choice for people. I mean, what's going to happen now coming out of COVID, you know, there will be, I think it was just talking on the news recently about the fact that more people have now taken the plunge of running their own business and setting up their own business. So we want to try and harness some of that to actually create an entrepreneurial focused culture and actually say, well, this is something that can be done and you can do it in Ngheredigion. So coming back to the issue of perception, a lot of it is the lack of information and people weren't aware of maybe where to find that information. So marketing and sort of promoting Ceredigion and the opportunities runs through 3 of the 4 priorities. So we want to promote Ceredigion as being a positive place to live, study, work and grow. So we need to be able to promote good stories about the possibilities of what you can do in Ceredigion. We have a strong, you know, a number of entrepreneurial young people who have started and who run successful businesses in Ceredigion. So how do we harness that momentum and actually promote that going forward and do more of it? And then finally, of course, Ceredigion, people, young people or anybody who want to live in Ceredigion want to really, you know, want to stay because of the strong identity and the culture and the Welsh language. So we need to build on that and look at how we can harness that and promote the benefits of economic growth from, you know, the efforts of developing a business and harnessing the Welsh language and utilising both. So if we go on to place, so with the place, we want to see Ceredigion as a place where people want to live, work and visit. So it's not just about us who live here as residents, but also making it somewhere that people want to visit as well. So the vision really under this priority is to have housing that meets the needs of the changing demographic. So, you know, affordable housing, maybe for young people, or opportunities for people who want to come back to raise families, or the older generation. We also want to create strategic employment sites. The way we all work has changed since COVID. So we need to think about and look at these strategic employment sites and think about what are the needs of the workplace for future employment. Then we have landscape and green spaces, so developing those that contribute to the well-being of people, but also to the environment. Also looking at our towns and thinking about providing thriving, living, working and social spaces. So thinking about what the needs of those towns are and how we can develop those to meet the needs of the local people. And then finally, the natural and physical assets that residents and visitors can access and enjoy. So to develop those, so as well as promoting biodiversity and you know, sort of reducing our carbon footprint, etc., those sorts of things. So with place, so the table sets out what we want to achieve. So firstly, there's been a lot of work done, engagement with towns and communities in terms of identifying what their needs and opportunities are. So it's about harnessing that information and looking at how that can be developed. So some of the actions, the proposed interventions that we have here focus on some specific ideas around. We've got there Aberystwyth, we've got the harbour in Aberaeron, and then there's also some work around sort of Lampeter and the Teifi Valley. So we want to look at how we can develop those opportunities and facilities to provide sort of opportunities for developing our towns and communities. Some of that also will include sort of identifying sources of funding to attract and being able to deliver in that. And there's an awful lot of work going on at the moment about looking at our towns and how we can help to support them out of the COVID pandemic. So the second one there, maximising opportunities for increasing provisions for affordable homes. Well, as I've already mentioned, this is about looking at how we can provide opportunities for young people to be able to stay in the county, so that we can provide that infrastructure for people. Ensure Ceredigion has effective strategic sites for employment. So again, we've identified in here some areas where there is work going on. So the Science Hub in Aberystwyth, investment around key sites. So we have Llandysil, Horeb, the food centre, and then other areas south of the county as well in Parc Aberporth and the Dyffryn Eiron. So it's about ensuring that we have sites that meet the needs of what our businesses and our communities needs. Then we've got developing and enhancing Ceredigion's green assets. So it's important that we continue to invest in our public right-of-way network, allowing people to be able to enjoy the Ceredigion environment and improve well-being, but also that it's there for our visitors as well. And it's important then that we invest in our green infrastructure, improving biodiversity, and in order to reduce the impact of climate change. Then coming back to that marketing sort of promotion I was mentioning earlier on, it's improving this perception again of Ceredigion as being somewhere where you can live, work and visit. And it's about promoting those opportunities. And finally on there, we have making Ceredigion a vibrant place for events. We have a successful number of events in Ceredigion, and one of the proposals is to actually develop an event strategy, which will make it suitable to develop major events in the county. So if we go on to enterprise, third priority. So Ceredigion has a solid base of successful businesses, albeit the vast majority being small and micro businesses. Our business survival rate is amongst the highest in Wales, but business birth rates are not really enough to provide the engine for that growth. On a positive note, we have very successful young entrepreneurs, particularly in the food sector, who have developed businesses. We've got a university in Aberystwyth who is successful in attracting businesses in scientific research and development. And of course, the third sector. So we've got people who have developed sort of actions and developed, in the sector to address specific needs, particularly around care and training. So what we want to do here, because this is probably one of the key priorities within the strategy. So we want to support the creation of new businesses, but at the same time helping those businesses to grow into more medium-sized businesses. So we've got a target in here that we've set ourselves of 300 new businesses opening every year to try and combat that issue of reducing of low sort of birth rates. But at the same time, we need to make sure that we have the support and the offer to help those, to help that development, albeit through finance, mentoring, or signposting. There are other schemes, obviously, we're all aware of that are out there that can provide that support. Also thinking about Ceredigion County Council itself and its own assets, we're looking to see how we can develop those assets and skills to support businesses. And again, we've got listed down here the council farms, food centre Wales. So it's looking at and also working with higher education establishments as well with that support. So again, linked to sort of trying to retain our young people, important that we raise awareness of Ceredigion. So it's about making sure that we promote ourselves as being somewhere that people want to live, that people want to stay or come back to, but also that you can start a business here and that there are opportunities to do that. So we've identified through the strategy some of the key sectors that we have in Ceredigion. So we want to strengthen really and build on that work. So food, farming, agri-tech, tourism, we've got aerospace, spectrum technology, and bioscience. So some really high tech and very interesting sectors. And that, that will be working with other partners such as the universities to as well as what infrastructure we have within the council to actually develop those, to build on those opportunities and those developments. We also, of course, need to tackle some of the weaknesses that we have in terms of market failure where there exists in our foundational economy. And one of the things that we propose to do is investigate the establishment of how we can how we can develop and promote some solutions to how we can tackle maybe capacity issues, sort of particularly identified as construction and maybe the care sector. And also, considering, we've got eTender Wales today here as well, thinking about how we can support our businesses to actually win more contracts in Ceredigion. So we also want to make sure, obviously, that we have the infrastructure, and probably also one of the things that's developed throughout the whole engagement process is establish that communication between the council and businesses, and having that sort of key point of contact for businesses with officers within the council. And that's something that we certainly want to build on. So then going on to connectivity. So poor digital connectivity causes frustration, obviously hinders rural businesses, and it is a big prohibiting factor to attracting new business, and also it slows. We need to be able to use this to slow the declining population. So we need to have better connectivity. We want businesses really to be able to take advantage of technology to support their growth, to develop new approaches. And with new technology that's constantly evolving, such as the Internet of Things. So in terms of digital technology, we want businesses really to be at the forefront of those developments and sort of drive rural economic growth. We want to get away from being us in Ngheredigion always trying to be sort of waiting to catch up with things. So in terms of, I should have said actually, connectivity is split into three. So it's digital, transport and energy. So in terms of transport, the challenge is obviously the size, remoteness and sort of how dispersed we are in terms of our settlements in Ceredigion does present challenges in both transport of goods and the way we travel as well. So, and then with energy, we have one of the key prohibiting factors that we have is poor grid infrastructure for anything. So making new energy connections is quite prohibitive and a constraint to developing business and opportunities. So in terms of the areas that we've identified, in terms of transport, so looking at really improvements to road network, and that really can only be done with funding and investment, which is probably outside the scope of the council, but it means us working with Welsh Government and others to actually to promote and develop those opportunities. In terms of public transport, that's not just obviously for us as local people, but that's for our visitors that we get into the county as well. So needing to look for support and investment along, so it could be railway, bus, anything really. And that sort of is linked to really behavioural change as well. So we need to think more about maybe sort of looking at active travel packages of support to encourage more walking and cycling within the county, and then thinking about how we disseminate that information, making it easy for people. And also, again, decarbonisation, thinking about sort of how we think about, the future and our, tackling climate change. So we are looking at other opportunities for transport, such as electric vehicle charging points and increasing use of electric vehicles. So if I go into energy then, so one of the things we want to do is to investigate really the grid capacity and how that can maybe be developed to actually more of a take-up of renewable energy and other technology. We're looking particularly at the moment at the hydrogen economy, and that's one feasibility study that is happening at the moment. So it's looking at what other opportunities there are going forward. And then in terms of digital activity, there's a lot has been going on with this development over the last couple of years with the appointment of a digital officer for Ceredigion. So he's in the process of developing a digital strategy for the county, but also we need to be working more to, and he's also been working with communities to look, excuse me, to look at different technology that can be used within communities. It may not necessarily be fibre is the answer for everything. So looking at sort of what the other opportunities are, but then making sure that we are in a position that we can sort of exploit what those opportunities are, and that we can add value and to what a business, and extend the reach of what a business can do, really. So those are the 4 areas. So it's an exciting time in terms of thinking about how we can translate some of this into activity on the ground. And as I was saying, it won't just be a council-led approach, it'll be a collaborative approach. But it covers a long period of time, and these interventions, they will develop over time as well. Right, I think I'll finish there. I don't know if anybody has any specific questions or if we're dealing with them later on.
Diolch, Meleri. If we can pick up on any questions later on, that would be fantastic. And I'm just typing into the chat now the 4 Community Renewal Fund priorities, because they mirror the economic strategy priorities very, very well. And I'll add a little bit more detail under communities in place as well for everybody's information. So if we can move on to gyda. Os allai symud mlaen I gyda. Mae'r Cyngor Sir yn mynd I ddefnyddio eTender Wales. The local authority will be using eTender Wales for expressions of interest. So mae gyda nawr, gyda will be taking us through that process. Ond mae un cwestiwn da ni I holi, a fyddwch chi'n fodlon bod ni'n rhannu eich manylion cyswllt chi gyda gyda. Are you all willing for us to share your details, your contact details with gyda, so he can follow up with some information following the presentation? Os na bod chi'n hapus, wedyn please newch chi gysylltu â ni neu rhoi sylw yn y column chat. If you're not happy, can you please contact us or just make a note in the chat column, but it would be great if we can share your contact details. Nawr, gyda, drosto I ti.
OK, prynhawn da. Diolch yn fawr iawn am gwahoddiad I gymryd rhan yn y digwyddiad yma prynhawn yma. Thank you very much for the invitation to take part in this afternoon's event. I'm a business advisor with the Business Wales Service. And I specialise in tendering, procurement, bid writing, helping small and medium-sized companies, third sector organisations, micro businesses to understand the procurement process and to prepare to bid for contract work with public sector organisations across Wales. One of the platforms that the local authorities use is eTender Wales, the one that we're referring to this afternoon. So that's where you would typically start the response process for applying to pre-qualification questionnaires, invitation to tenders and so on. And in this afternoon's context, the application form, as has been mentioned already, sits on the eTender Wales platform. So I'm not sure if I've got permission to share my screen at this end. And then I can.
Cerys, can we sort that one out?
And then I can literally share the screen that I've got in front of me here, and literally take you through step by step then how to go about finding the opportunity and managing your way around this platform.
You should be able to now.
Okay, diolch yn fawr. So I'm just going to share the eTender Wales screen with you now. Can you all see that screen?
It's up.
So basically, this is the eTender Wales screen. What I'll do is I'll provide some information post this webinar this afternoon, just with some other information that might be helpful. So once you've registered and logged on, you come to this main dashboard, which I like to think is divided up, into 3 columns. So on the left-hand side, you will be able to find if you go into PQQ, and then there'll be a long list. These are all live opportunities on the system, being advertised by a range of public sector organisations. And once you identify the one that we're looking at this afternoon is not appearing on my list because I've already selected it, and I have put it into a pending tray. So it's sitting here, as you can see, highlighted in green under my PQQs. So just to clarify, once you've identified the opportunity from the title in the PQQ, which is currently showing 19 opportunities, there is an opportunity to open that opportunity up, and a tab called Express an Interest. So once you've expressed an interest, eTender Wales then automatically places that opportunity in either the pending tray, or, as you can see, I'm looking at lots of different opportunities at the moment for various organisations across North Wales, Mid Wales and West Wales. But the one we're interested today is this one. So you can see there are 10 days showing until deadline. But what you need to do is just open it up. And then I've already created a response. So you'll have a tab sitting here in blue, which will ask you to create a response. That then opens up the opportunity, so you can check that you've got the right PQQ, the correct title and everything, so you're looking at the right opportunity. The deadline dates will be sitting here. So that deadline for this application is the 17th of May, with 9 o'clock as being the deadline to get the information in. Reference was made earlier this afternoon to the message board. Just to recap, so you have a message board on here that operates exactly like an email system. So you can literally go into the message board and you can look at received messages. So that's just a way of you communicating with the buying organisation or the organisation managing this opportunity, and then you can see what questions and so on have been answered and asked, and the responses that have been provided by the organisation managing the fund. So that makes sure you can clarify anything. So if you've got any questions, then I'd be encouraging you to post these through the portal. So if I go back a stage, you have been provided with some buyer attachments. So this is all the information that you need to see with regards to completing your application. For example, you'll have the application form. You've got all the background information about the Community Renewal Fund and how to apply. So these are all Word documents, easy to open. And then, so for example, how to apply. These are instruction documents that have been provided. So you just need to click and open a Word document. So that'll have the instructions and so on. So bids must be submitted by. So all the information has been provided, as I normally call the buying organisation. The public sector organisation has provided you with all the information that you need to know. And then the all important, if I just close that particular file down, you will have what you need to have then is the application form. So that again is just a simple Word document for you to be able to open, and then you start the process of completing that document. I'd be advising you then to save a copy onto your desktop or whatever, and then I will show you in a moment then the process of attaching the relevant the application form then to the portal. So this I don't want to go through too much detail on here, but it's a straightforward Word document that you need to complete. And just going through, making sure you've actually answered everything sufficiently from a bid writing perspective, making sure you're keeping within word count and so on, and following. My top tip really is to make sure you're following instructions to the letter with applications such as this. So if the buying organisation is asking you to keep to a word count or provide evidence or whatever, you need to make sure that you are following the instructions clearly to the letter. So what I'm going to do now is once you've completed the application, you then need to, I'm just going to close that Word document down and go back one stage. So all that information that is available in the buyer attachments part of the application, you need to pay attention, make sure you've read everything and you're clear before you start the process. I'm going to go back to here. So then you will have a question qualification response. So there are fields here that you have to now start to complete. So all the red starred questions are those questions that you need to respond to. So you can see here at 1.3.2, please upload your completed UK CRF application form. So the electronic file should be named your organisation, so it's clear instructions. So we are, just to go back a step, you were able to obtain this application form from the buyer attachments, and then it's literally a question of attaching exactly as you would on an email. So you're literally clicking onto the attachment, a window comes up and it says select the field to upload. So you're selecting and you're literally going to your desktop and then you're selecting the application and then you're uploading it then to that question. Please upload here the latest 2 years audited accounts for your organisation. The electronic file should be named, so clear instructions again on how the buying organisation wants you to present. And a top tip here, sometimes it's all been noted here, if your accounts are in multiple files, please upload a zip file. So condense everything down into one zip file, and then from the desktop upload the information that's required then electronically to the question there. And again, so please enter the name and position held within the organisation. So that's the lead officer, the named officer who will be, whose name will be on the application. And then please enter the date this section was completed. So you can select here quite easily from the options in the month, and you literally select the day that you are preparing the application. And then those are the only 4 questions for this application then that has to be completed through the qualification response. Again, I'd be just reminding you to read through all those buyer attachments and so on to make sure you're following instructions clearly. You can do the application, you can complete the application in stages. So you can save, do a little bit today. You can literally save your response and just follow the window. You can come out of the application, you've saved it for today, and then you want to come back tomorrow, then what you need to do is literally, so if I literally come out of this again, I go back to the home screen And as I said earlier, the application will always be sitting under the pending PQQs with pending responses. So you can then go back into it again, and then you just carry on where you've left off. So once you've completed the qualification response here, it's showing missing mandatory responses 4. That text will change to all mandatory responses complete, or a message to that effect. And in brackets, that 4 will change to 0. So that is your sort of check before you submit that everything has been included. And then literally it's submitting your application using the submit response. You press that button, a window comes up basically asking, are you sure you want to submit? Then you press OK, and then another window appears as your receipt telling you that your application has successfully been uploaded to the platform and is awaiting then, it'll be opened on the closing date. As a guarantee as well, excuse me, this message here at the top will change. So the closing date and the actual time will appear, and then your response and your time and date on when you submitted your application will sit there. So that's your sort of guarantee and a note to explain that the application has successfully been submitted and is sitting on the platform. I'm not sure whether it'll happen the same with these applications, but you can actually submit early. Some people are a little concerned maybe or nervous with their internet connectivity or whatever, then you can actually submit early. But that's all you need to do then so you'll have something sitting on the platform while you're working through the application. When you come back to carry on working, that's all you need to do is to edit response, and that then will give you a chance to update and to carry on working before a final submission then with the final version can be sent in on the platform. I think that's basically once you're in on the platform, you've identified the opportunity and start working on it. It's very straightforward. And if you've got any sort of technical questions, passwords, or any issues between now maybe and when the deadline is, for any reason, then there's a very, very helpful help desk there, which you can give a call, and any sort of technical issues can be addressed using a very helpful help desk number, which is both in Welsh and English available. Somebody was asking a question?
Yes, it's me, Eirlis Lloyd.
Hello.
Hello, because I'm showing up as Mary Richards on the screen, so that's why I just thought I better give my name. I was just wondering, in terms of working on the application, and you said you could save it and go back into it. If somebody logs in, say, from the same organisation as you are, and wants to do some work on the application, does it have to be the same person, or does it be different? Does it make a difference?
Usually I typically, from a day-to-day basis, I work with small, medium-sized companies, micro businesses, and it's one log-on that they have, username and password. But from a point of view of the application form, you're downloading an application form for this opportunity from the buyer attachments sort of facility. So you can download that document, and if there are a number of people within the organization or contributing to completing that, then this portal is just for the uploading of the final application and sending it in.
Okay, thank you. Because I was just wondering, in terms of now with people doing sort of, distance, working and everything, that, you're not in an office environment where you can, feed in directly, maybe.
Okay, yeah, I think my advice would be to download the application, the important documentation that's required for everybody in the team to see and contribute to, and then maybe one person, maybe in the organisation, then coordinates the upload and submission of your application then on this platform.
That's a good point, Gyda, so that one person takes overall responsibility, so you don't miss anything from the upload. So that's a good tip. Diolch yn fawr iawn, Gyda, defnyddiol iawn. Thank you very much, Gyda. Really, really useful. And I'm very, very conscious that this is an eTender process, so I'm not quite sure how we might not be able to answer all the questions now, but we would be more than happy if anybody does have any questions that are actually directly related with the Ceredigion process. Then we may need to do that through the messaging system on your behalf if it can't be answered this afternoon. But I was wondering, o'n i yn meddwl, Irlis y Meleri, ydy e'n bosib I wybod tymed bach yn fwy am ydy'r proses? Beth sy'n digwydd nesa ar ôl yr ail ar 15? What happens after the 17th of May? Are we allowed to discuss that?
Yeah, and of course, from our understanding that there will be, once the deadline passes on the 17th of May, those the actual bids that will be coming in will be assessed by an independent, by a panel. I cannot tell you who's on the panel because I don't actually know. So I won't be able to share that with you. And I think that assessment, I'm not sure then regarding the timeline, because the timeline is quite tight as well, because we would be obviously looking at prioritising, what would be seen then as would fit in as a Ceredigion picture going into the bid, into the sort of the package that would be submitted to the UK government by June the 15th, I think. June 15th.
And just to add, I think from what I understand as well, that those selected to go forward, if those applications need tweaking, I think there will be an opportunity to work with the applicant at that point to actually if it's selected.
Because it will be quite considerable work to do in terms of bringing all those elements of strands together, and that it makes, because what we're looking at, obviously this is a Ceredigion bid. It's not a Ceredigion County Council bid. It's for the whole of businesses and residents of Ceredigion. So, and it's also as already been said in terms of this fund, the Community Renewal Fund, it's a bit of a preamble really for the Shared Prosperity Fund. So it's a very, very tight timeline. We've only got about 8 months really to deliver before then, in terms of looking at the bigger grant schemes that will be coming through from the UK Shared Prosperity Fund. And details regarding that is quite sketchy still. So, and in terms of the amount of money available, the amount of funding is fairly tight right across the UK really on this fund. So, it's going to be meaning that we've got to be very very clear in what we're trying to achieve, and that we've got the vision and we're able to implement fairly quickly, and having those things in place to be able to do it.
Diolch Irlis. A fi'n credu mae'n lle mae'r strategaeth o gymorth. I think that's where the economic strategy helps to give us a bit of direction, because as you so rightly said, this isn't just about the renewal fund. And Jill makes a really interesting point. Could we be looking at piloting approaches through the renewal fund that we could then pitch as part of the levelling up fund, or as you said, the shared prosperity fund, because yes, I've also heard that this is almost a test of the process. It's 1 year's funding, So it's almost a test of the processes before we start delivering on the shared prosperity fund. So it's really important to be involved, and I think as well, Maleri and Eirlis, because of the way we work in Ceredigion and the way we work so closely in Ceredigion, any ideas that are submitted, we could look for alternative funding if they're not appropriate for the Levelling Up Fund or the Community Renewal Fund. You know, we just need ideas, and we really need, regardless of the funding mechanism, we need ideas on the shelf that we can then support, so that we're not influenced by the funding, but that we're influenced by what Ceredigion needs. So I think this is a good exercise, it's a good process. But it's a bit of preparatory work for the Shared Prosperity Fund and any other funds that are made available to us over the coming couple of years. Maleri Eirlis, unrhyw ymateb I pwynt Jill, any response to Jill's point about the Community Renewal Fund being used as a pilot for the Levelling Up application?
Yeah, I don't know whether Maleri's got her hand up, or is it an old hand, or is it that my hand maybe? That was before. It's very confusing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I can't even see.
I put my video on, I can see then. Sorry.
Yeah,
okay, it's my old hand. I don't. Yeah, it's really bizarre that is. Anyway, I do apologise. What I was going to say, this fund really is about a bit of piloting, you know, sort of activities, piloting a program. However, we also need, you know, strong and mature packages in going forward as well. So if you've got some ideas that you're thinking about that you want, that are being piloted at present, that's some of the work, and you're looking at sort of, you know, wanting to develop those ideas further, that's good. But also it is about piloting what we can do, but we have to be realistic in the terms of, for any pilot, in terms of, you know, I can't reinforce the actual timeline in the delivery and implementation. And if there's a very strong rationale for a pilot that is deliverable within the time frame and within the priorities, as we mentioned, of the Ceredigion strategy, then yes, I think, you know, it is open. You know, anything is possible.
Yeah, diolch Eirlis. Cerys, Keith would like to ask a question, so I'm not sure whether we can unmute him and bring him in, but while you're doing that, Jill had a second part to her question, and I've received some information about working across counties, and the response, the advice is that if you've got a project that will be active in several counties, then you have to apply to each local authority, to each area. But as you say, if you're looking at a feasibility approach, or I'm assuming, Eirlis and Maleri, there'll be an opportunity to share learning rather than have to bid to each county, even if the work is just happening in one county. So yeah, as long as you don't need the funding and the delivery in other counties, then a single application to Ceredigion will be fine. Keith, cwestiwn dy ti?
Diolch yn fawr, ti'n clywed?
Odw, clywech chi'n iawn.
Yeah, thank you. It's been very informative, and thank you, all of you that have presented. It is a very complex issue, is what I found from going through the detailed information that we would be expected to complete, etc. And to have schemes in a state of readiness in the short time scales that are available, yeah, I think is nigh on impossible. Now, if you were to say that, no, what we're looking here is for visionaries, for some blue sky thinkings of the potential of such schemes, and then you're giving people enough time to actually work them up, you know, to me that would make a lot more sense. Because from the documentation that I've read thus far, you need to have so much issues in place already, you know, before you can really submit, because otherwise you'll be thrown out immediately, I think, because you don't meet all the criteria. could any of the panelists and Gyda, in fact, comment on that particular point?
Cyn I fi dynnu pawb arall mewn, Keith, before I pull everybody else in, there have been discussions across Wales about whether it's possible to submit for a grant scheme. And that might be something that we need to consider in Ceredigion. I know very, very difficult with the timescales involved, but it is something that I think we need to consider, because if I remember rightly, the last communication I had was that they would consider grant schemes as part of the Renewal Fund, but whether Ceredigion would be open to it, it depends on our topics, I guess. But it just buys us a little bit more time,
Yeah.
And that seems to be for us as CAFO a slightly more manageable approach than a consortium bid on behalf of several third sector groups, because I don't think we're ever going to reach that position. So maybe a more open grant scheme, but using the time until a decision is made to generate a few ideas, where we could pilot some thinking in preparation for the Shared Prosperity Fund. Might be an idea that we could do through Canol Cardi.
Because I think that you've made the point pretty well early on that we are small micro businesses here, and you're not going to get those earth-moving sort of schemes happening unless it comes from the likes of the universities, etc. And there's been plenty of criticism across that, and when it was Objective 1 and the post to that sort of scheme of funding. So I think you're going to be dealing with the voluntary sector more and more, and small community enterprises, and you just haven't got the capacity to be dealing with the amount of information that's required and requested within this format.
Na, cytuno, Keith. Anybody else from the panel want to mention anything on that point?
Can I just endorse really the suite of services that the Business Wales service has available. We have a very experienced team of business advisors who, over the last 12 months, have been helping with various applications because of COVID, but and so on. But please do take advantage of the services that we have. And business advisors can actually help, maybe assist with putting those applications together, who have got experience of these types of things, regularly, and can provide a little bit of expertise and knowledge to help maybe be a critical friend with you to look at the application, but to help to speed up the process as well. So hence my request at the start of this afternoon's broadcast, to maybe ask for your names and addresses, and we can then certainly, I can share that information, and if you need to would like to take advantage maybe of the support we can offer, and we'd be more than happy to help on this occasion.
Diolch, Gyda. A bydde CAFO yn fwy'n hapus i fod yn rhan o'r proses na hefyd. We'd be more than happy to be a part of that process as well in Ngheredigion. Tra bod ni wrthi hefyd, I think it's really important to consider, as I mentioned earlier, if it's a good idea, then we need to find support for it, don't we? CAFO have a few grant schemes on the go at the moment, particularly around health care, well-being, but the WCVA Active Inclusion Fund are also making a final call for ideas and projects. Whether that, that's also an opportunity, isn't it? Maybe a route to trial or pilot some work in preparation for the Shared Prosperity Fund, because I would be very, very surprised if the criteria and the focus areas of the Shared Prosperity Fund will differ greatly from the funds that we're looking at the moment. Probably be very, very similar themes and topics. So yes, there is other funding available, and Cerys Teleri will send out reminders about the Active Inclusion Fund and some of our other grant schemes following the meeting as well. Mi newn ni rhannu'r gwybodaeth na ar ôl y cyfarfod. Unrhyw gwestiynau neu sylwadau eraill? Any other questions or comments before we draw the session to a close? Cyn I fi cau'r sesiwn?
Hazel, mae gyda fi just just i atgoffa bobl mewn ffordd, just to remind people that with this fund, we've talked about the Ceredigion Economic Strategy and the need to align that very closely to any kind of proposals that come forward. And that's how, part of the assessment will be against that, obviously. And to think about, just to remind people that it is about sort of trialing new ways of working, and also maybe doing things in a different way. It doesn't mean to say that you've got to have that light bulb moment of an idea that is going to change the world. But I think if it changes Ceredigion, then that is what we're looking for in terms of moving forward. The timescale is very tight, as I already said, but that doesn't mean to say that we can't, be sort of forward thinking and looking across and, seeing what we need, because some of the work that we've been doing in the last 6 months in the economic regen with the business grants, particularly and we've had a lot of communication and a lot of engagement with businesses in Ceredigion. And obviously, as Keith has already mentioned, we're a plethora of small businesses, micro businesses at that, which are the sort of backbone of Ceredigion. So, and I think in going forward, certainly from a personal perspective, I would like to see, something, really being done about businesses and giving that support for businesses to, to continue and to sustain and to develop and to grow, because there's some very good growth businesses happening in Ceredigion, as well as, we tend to hear about the failures, but all in all, I've been, sort of very encouraged to see where some of those growth is happening, and it is in those micro businesses that, it's a sustainable and a more resilient businesses are being developed.
A good point to end on, Irlis. Yeah. It's about being a sportive county, a sportive culture, isn't it? It's really, really important. Mae'r awr wedi dod I ben. The hour has come to an end. Diolch eto I chi gyd am ymuno ni. Thank you everyone for joining us. As I say, we've recorded this session, so the recording will be available. And there's nothing like a little bit of pressure, so make sure that the 17th of May is in your diary. It's dim byd fel tyma bach o bwysau nag oes ddod lan â syniadau. Thank you, Gyda, Maleri and Irlis for contributing, and thank you Teleri and Cerys for organising the session. As bod unrhyw beth allwn ni wneud neu unrhyw gwestiynau gyda chi, wedyn cadwch mewn cysylltiad. If there's anything we can do, any questions, then keep in touch. Then diolch yn fawr iawn I chi, and cymerwch ofal. Thank you very much and stay safe.
Diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr.